French story Madame Chrysanthème. In the story, a naval officer travels to Nagasaki and takes a temporary wife, basically a hookup for his deployment. The girl he was looking for had to be a little, creamy-skinned woman with black hair and cat's eyes. He also wanted her to be pretty and not much bigger than a doll.
Side note, we're women, not dolls, unless you're talking about your real doll.
And in one scene, the narrator describes how the local women grovel before me on the floor, placing all this plaything of a meal at my feet.
Gross.
And this story became super popular. It was translated into every major European language and republished over 200 times during the author's lifetime. It was also the inspiration for the opera Madame Butterfly, which itself is an enormous smash hit and is still performed hundreds of times a year. This narrative of the exotic, submissive Asian woman got further reinforced over the course of the 20th century during America's wars in Japan, Korea, and Vietnam. After World War II, approximately 200,000 Japanese women were enslaved by the Japanese government as prostitutes for American soldiers as part of the Recreation and Amusement Association. This practice of organized prostitution continued through the Korean and Vietnam Wars, with 85% of American soldiers reporting having sought a prostitute.
So that's something to talk about at your next family reunion.
So the first interaction that 3 generations of American men had with Asian women was as submissive sexual objects. Combine this with the reinforcement in popular culture and porn, and it's no wonder the stereotype of the submissive, sexy Asian woman still persists. Of course, when it comes to getting dates and being seen as attractive, history has helped Asian men to face the exact opposite issue of Asian women. Since the 1800s, when Asian immigrants began coming to America as cheap labor forces, Asian men have faced harsh discrimination, much of it directly sexual. Some laws prevented Asian men from owning property, which made you legally less of a man. Other laws barred them from heavy industry, which forced Asian men to take on traditionally feminine jobs like laundry and cooking, which led to the perceptions of Asian men being effeminate.
Cooking and laundry aren't inherently feminine. I barely know how to cook and barely do my laundry.
But it gets worse. In 1882, Chinese immigrants were prohibited from entering the U.S. altogether, which left hundreds of thousands of the Chinese men that were already here without the possibility of bribes. Why? That's because due to anti-miscegenation laws, it was illegal for Asian men to marry white women in many states. On top of that, laws passed in the 1920s made it so that non-white women who married Asian men could lose their citizenship. This complex system of laws was a direct attack on Asian men's ability to marry and start families, thus emasculating them and making them less desirable to women. Come on. And that history of emasculating Asian men lives on, especially in Hollywood. Think about Long Duck Dog in 16 Candles, or Han's Broken English in Two Broke Girls, or the various small penis jokes in the Hangover movies. Asian men are barely on screen and almost never shown as attractive or romantically desired by anyone. I find you very sexy.
Thank you.
Don't believe me? Quick, without Google, how many American rom-coms can you name with an Asian male lead? And when was the last time you even saw an Asian man kiss someone on camera? Francesca, I totally get it. I'm just not really into Asian dudes. On a personal level, claiming you're not attracted to an entire group of people because of their race is sexual prejudice. And here's the thing, a ton of people across many ethnicities are guilty of this. But it's not any better when you base attractiveness solely on race, because that's fetishizing. Here's the thing, institutionalized racism fuels America, oftentimes in ways that you might not even realize. And because we live in a world that continues to reinforce outdated and harmful sexual stereotypes, it's no wonder that some people start to believe them. So the secret's out. Despite hundreds of years of being told the opposite, Asian men can indeed be sexy, and Asian women are more than just their sexiness. If we don't learn from history, we're doomed to repeat it. And the truth is, when it comes to dating and race, we still have a long ways to go. We want to hear about your experiences. Have you ever been discriminated against in the dating world? Or still think dating a certain race is just a preference? Let us know in the comments, and thanks to our special guests, Lily and Stu. We'll see you next week right here on
All right. So you've done watching both of those videos. Now, getting to your small groups again and kind of like share what thoughts came up for you, or what kind of feelings came up for you.
I like how it showed like the history of how it like came from and how it like solidified into sort of
Let's take about 1 more minute.
Oh my god, that short, like just the high voice. They flash your picture as a video. He's what? He's drawn from
All right, let's come on back. So what are some thoughts that appear as you were watching those 2 videos? Or what are some feelings that came up for you? Yeah.
I wasn't aware of like the history behind like the dating thing, and like the anti-Christianation.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing, like that Asians were like prohibited from doing normal things that white Americans were able to do.
Yeah. So now you are more aware of the history and what led to Asian men doing what they were forced to do. Okay. What else? Yeah.
I was really uncomfortable how they were just making fun in the first video, how
Uh-huh.
it was like a joke for them, and like all the audience were laughing along, and that just made me really mad.
Yeah, so you felt uncomfortable, you felt angry. Great. Anybody else felt uncomfortable when they were watching the first video? Yeah, all right. So you're not alone. Yeah.
I just thought it was a little weird that, Steve Harvey is also a minority. Like, someone could be saying the same thing about you and you would have been really offended. And for you to not think about it and to do the same thing for another minority, probably not in the best taste.
Yeah.
Especially when, first I just didn't find it. I didn't feel as much offended by it as much as I just didn't even find it funny in the first place.
Right.
Okay, that was just a weird thing to say in the first place.
Yeah. So it wasn't really funny to you. And maybe it was kind of weird that everybody else was kind of like laughing along in the audience. Okay. What else? What other emotions came up for you? Yeah.
I feel a lot of things. I feel mad that Asian women are seen as docile and as sexual objects.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because I'm Vietnamese and with the war, American soldiers did bring over prostitution because we didn't have prostitution until the war. And I feel like with media, I also feel like I give other people a one-sided perspective. Not a one-sided perspective. I see people in a flat dimension.
Uh-huh.
One-dimensional.
Yeah.
And I feel like the bombardment of stereotypes is making me jaded.
Okay, so they only show you unidimensional characters, and it's making you feel jaded. And also, I think it's not just Asian women. I think women in general in the media are being seen as sexual objects. So it's not just Asian women. It's women in general. But it is true. Anything else that came up for you? Anybody from the back row? Not that back row, the second back row. No? Yeah.
I know for me, the first video, it created a shade that Steve Harvey's primary video was today, which is mostly ignorant things, because they were inappropriate, they were untrue. But I also know as men women in the black community were also oh, I won't be an Asian man for no valid reason.
Uh-huh.
And it's definitely brought up the fact that we need to address that argument because it's not correct.
Yeah. Yeah, so based on your personal experience, you do know that there are people who embody or have those kind of thoughts. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. So there is this study being done on Asian American men, all right? So the Asian American men study of 2016, they asked Asian American men, who is the man that you most admire? Now the 23% chose to skip the question, and then another 10% wrote they don't know or they have no one. Now if you take these two together, about 1/3 of Asian American men don't really have a good role model. That's a lot of people not having a good role model. For those who named someone, Bruce Lee came up first. And think about that. Bruce Lee, how many years has he died? He's not with us, and yet people still look up to him because there's not a lot of positive Asian American men out there as role model. The second top is a personal relative, like a dad or a granddad. And then the third is Aziz Ansari, and he came there is a big gap between the second and the third one, all right? But he still came in third. And a few others that came up was Jeremy Lin, the basketball player, John Cho, Josh Takei, Eddie Huang, and then Stephen Yuan. All right? So this study tells us that as an Asian man, as an Asian male, there is very little positive representation of us in the media, and that is troubling, right? When Shannon was saying that you can identify with characters on screen, then it makes you believe in things that you probably can do. If she can do it, I look like her, I can do it, right? But if you don't have a good role model, then you're really limited in what you think you can do. That's why a lot of, it's a perpetuating cycle of you don't see a lot of positive Asian in the media, and so when the young kids wants to be like an actor or actress, then their parents will be like, no, you want to be like the comical guy on TV? Come on, please, don't be that, right? They are very limited. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about stereotypes are memes. I love memes. They can be super funny, but at the same time, they do also perpetuate stereotypes, all right? And I'm going to show you a few memes right here, and I want you to share with me what is the underlying message of these memes, all right? What is the underlying message of these memes? So I'm going to start off with the first one, all right? So this old man, Asian man, is saying, you get hepatitis B, why not hepatitis A? As if hepatitis A is better than hepatitis B. Both of them are illness, right? But it's the implication that, A is better than B, right? So if you're going to get an illness, you better get like a better illness, which is ridiculous, all right? So I've started off with the first one. I'm going to show you the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So I have like 6 right here. So you tell me what is the implication. So what's the implication of this meme? Yeah. Yeah, emasculates Asian men. Like, hey, Asian men can have like big penis, longer than 3 inches. What? You gotta be kidding me. What about this one? I see some smiles. Yeah. So what's the message here? Yeah.
Even an A isn't really good enough. It's just average.
Even an Yeah, an A is an expected grade. It's not good enough. It's average. It's what you're supposed to get. What about this one? What's the message here? Yeah. Yeah, saying that all Asian women have small breasts, so she's wearing an A cup. Wow, people are going to be like jealous of her. Crazy stuff. What about this one? This is pretty obvious. Calculator too slow for me. So the implication is, or the message is, that we're really good with numbers, right? Asian men are good with numbers. And lastly, driver level, Asian woman. I hear one laugh back there. Yeah? You didn't expect it. All right.
I'm not laughing because they're funny, but more just like taken aback in a way.
Yeah. So the implication here, or the message here, is that Asian women don't know how to drive. This is the Asian level of driving, right? So memes also perpetuate stereotypes. And to be honest, sometimes when I look at it, I laugh because it's like, there's meme about Asians, but at the same time, it's like, oh, where's the positive meme? Is it all just stereotypes? Now, the third thing that I want to touch upon is fringe characters. And I think we've already talked a little bit about this. So Asian actors, when they are cast, they are not cast in the main role, all right? They are cast as fringe characters, as the sidekick, as someone who is like, I wouldn't say important, but essential in the movie, but like a small essential role, all right? So Aram in Blacklist, Apu in Simpsons, Raj in Big Bang Theory, Glenn in Walking Dead, even though he defies all the stereotype of Asian American men, he's still not in the lead. Christina in Grey's Anatomy, Cho Chang in Harry Potter. Someone was saying that you like Harry Potter movie, but Cho Chang in there, what is her role?
I was saying about Harry Potter, she's his love interest for like a short period, and then he ends up with Ginny, who is white.
Yeah, so like a short period of time, she was like, oh, maybe the star. But again, she fits into that stereotype, small, petite, lovable, but that's it. So in Orange and the New Black, who likes watching Orange and the New Black? Yeah, it's a nice show, right? And then in Oscar 2016, there's this joke about Asian kids, all right? So if you don't know what transpired, 3 Asian kids were brought onto stage, and they were said that they were accountants from PricewaterhouseCoopers. They were the ones counting the ballots who won the Oscar. So even 2016's Oscar had that joke, and that kid was there for like what, a minute and a half? Really short appearance, but the stereotype still exists, that we are really good with numbers. We work as an accountant, and we are the ones counting the ballots. We're not the ones nominated. We're the ones that are doing the work behind, right? Fringe characters. So the problem with this is that it shows you a unidimensional facet of these characters. There is limited character development, and it was just like one of you said, when you see enough stereotypes across different series, across different movies, you've got to believe that it is true. You've got to believe that all men knows Kung Fu because, I watched this movie, hey, that guy's know Kung Fu. I watched that movie, that guy's know Kung Fu. I watched that one, hey, he knows martial arts. How can you not believe it when that is all you see in the media? A more insidious message that they're sending is that Asian actors are less than their white counterparts. And this cannot be more glaring with the recent development of Hawaii Five-0. 2 Asian American actors, they quit because of pay discrepancy. And so the network that they are working with said that, okay, we can increase your salary, but even with that increase, there is still a 10 to 15% gap. Now, can you imagine how much they were earning, how much lower they were earning without that increase, before they were fighting for that? I mean, the ending of the story is that the 2 Asian American actors decided to leave the series for good because they felt like they were not treated fairly. All right? So that's fringe characters. Any questions so far? Oh, I thought you were like raising your hand. I was like, I'm excited. Someone has questions. All right, the last thing that I want to talk about is cultural appropriation. Anybody knows what cultural appropriation is, besides like looking at the slide? Yeah? Can you share a little bit with us what cultural appropriation is?
When one group or individual who has more power claims a cultural piece or language or item as their own and then benefits from it.
Yeah. So when someone, usually from the majority culture, takes an aspect from the minority culture and kind of like make it cool, make it their own, and they are the ones benefiting from it. The minority culture that they kind of like take from don't really benefit from it. So that's what cultural appropriation is, all right? An adoption of the element of minority culture by usually members of the dominant culture. Now the problem with this is that it shows part of the culture without true understanding of the meaning of what was being adopted. The original meaning is lost or distorted, and again, it shows you a unidimensional view of what that culture represents. It's only cool or acceptable if the dominant culture exhibits it. So I have one picture right here, Katy Perry, dressed as a geisha. I think this was for like an MTV award or something. So she's appropriating the Japanese culture of geisha. And the other one, I have a video. And I'm going to just show you a little bit of it. I think we are like almost running out of time. But this is the last slide I have, so we're good. Ads, come on. All right, any of you know this song? Well, another ad, come on. Any of you know Lean On song? Yeah, have you watched the music video?
Thanks.
No? All right. All right. So the whole video is them shooting the music video in India and kind of like dancing to the song. I saw some of your reactions when I was playing the video. You had your head like down. Was it like a specific reaction that you had, or was it just you were tired?
No, I was just like, I wouldn't say it's funny, but I just thought it was really like weird to see that. Like, just not, I don't think the music made any sense to put that in India, that like, I had no idea what the hell was going on, to be honest. Like, it just
Yeah.
made no sense.
So you couldn't make sense of why the video was that way. What else? Yeah.
I remember watching the video like a while ago, and I didn't even realize like that it was in India, and like I just wasn't even until now like
Yeah.
more aware of like the appropriation thing that like this is actually from. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, I haven't watched the music video until recently too. When I was doing research, I was kind of surprised as well, and I kind of wanted to understand maybe from where they were coming from. So I looked at the lyrics, and then I looked at the video, and I was like, I don't see the relationship. I mean, the lyrics itself has nothing to do with India or Indian culture, and yet they were shooting in India, and I mean, I was the same as you. I don't know how to make sense of it. You know, so this is another example of like a recent example of cultural appropriation. It's happening in the media. It's gonna continue to happen. So, lastly, I don't have any more. Wait, I think I have one last slide. So, take like 2 minutes to talk about what was your biggest takeaway from today's presentation, from this presentation, and do you think we should keep silent? So take like 1 minute to talk about it with your partner, and then we'll come back. I think I'm like over pushing my time here. All right, let's come on back. So what is your biggest takeaway from this presentation? What's the biggest takeaway from this presentation? Yeah.
It makes me think more about how I perceive other people, and it's more like self-reflection, like how I contributed to this, if I contributed to it.
Yeah.
What can I do to stop it from continuing?
Mm-hmm.
And also, it makes me more aware of it as well, because, you know, I saw that video just as he did, just as Chris did. I saw it a few weeks ago or a few months ago, and I didn't think anything of it. I was just, it's just another music video.
Yeah.
But now I'm more aware of what I'm looking at and what I'm seeing, and I'm looking deeply at it, not just seeing surface, and I'm interpreting it a lot more.
Great, you're clapping your hand.
Not for you. This is such a big growing moment, you know? Like, sometimes we just see things and then we don't understand how oppressive they are or how dangerous they are to us and how they control us and limit us, you know? And so I think that this presentation has been great for like opening our eyes, whether or not you already knew like what appropriation looked like. Like, it's always nice to be reminded because mainstream culture is so, like we swim in it, and so it's like we don't notice it, you know? So it's always nice to be reminded or taught for the first time.
Yeah, it's very prevalent. Great, thank you. Anybody else want to share their takeaway from this session? Before we like end, we are like super over time. Excuse me. Yeah.
We talked about what can we do. So we talked about speaking up critically, the idea of like letting people know, like, look, we're not going to spend our money for that product.
Yes.
Because of this, and really doing something to make a difference.
Yes, yes. So you brought up a very good point because that's where I'm going next. So if you choose to still keep silent, that's okay too, all right? I'm not forcing you to not keep silent. But if you choose to speak up about it, these are the few things that you can do. You can choose to educate your friends and family about the things that you've learned today, and you can stop supporting media that perpetuate these kind of stereotypes, right? Just like Ghost in the Shell, it was a flop. Hopefully the producers learn a lesson from that experience, but you can do something about it, okay? It's not that we're swimming in this culture, you cannot think about going against it. You can in your small little ways. All right, well, thank you so much. If you don't have any questions, well, if you do have any questions, I'll be here a little bit more, but thank you so much.